Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be continuing on with my little Scream adventure. Today I'm going to go ahead and watch the third one. I believe that this is like the conclusion of the original trilogy, because if I'm remembering correctly, I believe there was the original trilogy, and then the fourth one takes place about like 10 or 15 years after the fact, and then there's the new ones. So I think this is the last one of the original trilogy. I have no idea what exactly is going to happen in it. I'm very excited to watch it. So I'm going to go watch it, and then I will come back and give you guys my initial reaction, my initial thoughts, and tell you what I thought about the movie. Okay, so right off the bat, I do want to kind of go ahead and give credit where credit's due. I think that the Scream movies are pretty good. Like, I'm not going to lie, I've never seen any of these before because my thought process was, oh my god, they're horror movies, I'm probably not going to like them. They're honestly, none of them are that scary. For the first movie, I gave it a rating on, like, its scare factor or whatever, and I rated it on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how scary I thought it was. I think so far, this entire franchise, I'm going to give it, like, a solid, like, 4 out of 10 on the, like, horror scare like spectrum, because it's really not that terrifying. I'm not going to get any nightmares from it. For the most part, I still think that the ghost face mask is just hilarious to look at. And then I think one of the big things is, like, it's all just action. Like, it'll get your heart pumping a little bit when certain scenes come on, but for the most part, there's nothing that's super terrifying. I would say of these three, the only one that was really that scary to me is the second one. There were a couple sequences, like when they're in the car and like the police officer literally gets impaled with a metal pole. That was scary, but overall, I think that this trilogy is not that scary, which makes me feel really, really great about potentially watching more horror movies. But yeah, so to talk about this movie specifically, I really liked the opening sequence. I thought that it was really fun. I like the fact that they're kind of like showing like the evolution of like telephones, because the first one was like a landline that was literally plugged into the house, and now there's like a phone call that's happening on like an actual like portable phone that the guy was able to bring with him and have in his car. And I like the way that they showed the evolution of Cotton Weary throughout time, because when he got out of jail in the second one, you kind of like have these thoughts like, wow, this guy's really like, he really just wants to like give his side of the story. And at first it seems like incredibly innocent, and then like he has that conversation with Sydney, and it's kind of like very obvious that he's like, he wants more than just, you know, to tell his side of the story. Like, he really just wants like his 10 minutes of fame, and he really wants to be in the spotlight. He really wants to be like the center of attention. So seeing him in this movie, he has that now. He's like a host of some like TV show podcast or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And seeing that he's kind of like a snarky person and he's not a great dude, very entertaining. I really enjoyed that. Like, I thought that seeing that like character growth off screen is fantastic. I think that all these Scream movies have done a pretty good job of like addressing stuff that happened off screen in a way that it's not like shoving it in your face, but you can tell any details that you would need like filled in, like that they give you that information. And I think that it's really well done. I think that the fact that they killed off Cotton Weary in the beginning of this was actually really great. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? Part of me is concerned that I'm not pronouncing his name, but I know his name is definitely Cotton, because he has his show is called 100% Cotton, which I think is so corny, but you know what? It's great. I mean, this world that they're living in is one where a horror movie franchise called Stab is as famous as it is, even though that's a terrible title. But I liked this movie. I thought it was fun. I think the concept of bringing on the actors and actresses and having a like more Hollywood themed area for this was a whole lot of fun. I really like it in these movies when they like change up the location and they do a lot of different like areas, because when you're confined to just, here's Woodsboro, I believe that's the name of the town that they were in the first movie, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. But I feel like Hollywood and being able to do stuff on like Hollywood sets was a whole lot of fun. And I think that they did a great job of like bringing back that eerie feeling of it looking exactly like it did in the first movie, but it not actually being where the first movie was shot. I thought that was cool. I really liked the special appearance of the actor who played Randy. I think that that was a really like cute sequence, and I think that that was a really good way to play homage to stuff that has happened in the trilogy without necessarily like taking away from anything or like feeling forced. I feel like that little like video clip from him was great, because he seems like the kind of guy who would do something like that. Like, oh my god, I might die. I need to have a contingency plan. I need to make sure that my legacy lives on. And that was hilarious. I love that entire sequence. Sydney, once again, her PTSD is fantastic. Seeing her kind of like living her best life or whatever. She's walking a dog. She has kind of given up on actual like friendships and connections, which I think is actually kind of funny, because like so many times she's kind of been like fucked over, and she doesn't like, every significant other she's had has either died tragically and she was so like unsure of if they're a villain or not, or now like her first boyfriend was a killer. So it makes sense that she would want to live by herself. I like that she was able to get a remote job. I think that was a very cool little character touch. But yeah, to talk about the actual killer, um, I think that this is probably the most like shocking twist in my opinion. I think that like technically speaking, the second one there's slightly a shocking like part of it, but like the guy killer in the second one was like very obvious. But you know, this one shocked me, and then I like that this was the first one where there's only one killer, which makes a whole lot of sense because the entire time I thought for sure one of the other like actors or actresses was in on it because it definitely seemed like one of those things where it's like the girl who was playing Sydney in the movie definitely like seemed something like very off about her, and I like that they revealed that she was just being weird because she had sex with somebody to get her job, and she didn't want to, you know, be associated with the other people, and I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I really like the setting of the final battle. That like mansion that has a bunch of like secret passageways, and the person who is the killer knowing all the secret passageways better than the actual like villains are great. One of the few things about this movie that really threw me off. I can't remember the name of the actor right now, or I would say his name, but the guy who plays Derek Shepherd in Grey's Anatomy, he's also in the Enchanted movies for Disney. He seems like the killer almost the entire time. And like he really seems like so suspicious. He seems to care a little bit more about details that might not be important at all. And when he's having his conversations with Sydney, he seems to like really be trying to like tip her off. Like I don't know if it's like just me who's watching this movie and thinking, oh my god, all these things that he's doing and saying is not stuff that like an actual detective would do or say. But like it 100% felt like they were trying to get us to think that it's this guy. And considering the trope so far has been like the killer is going to be this hot person, that was 100% where I thought that was going. And when he was revealed to be a good guy, I still thought that okay, they just fake killed him and he's going to come back and be a bad guy. So like I could not wrap my head around what was going on with that character. I didn't like the fact that he was like so like liking horror movies. And then when she's like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" and he's like, "My life," and he says it so like broodingly. I'm like, does he is he trying to like get killed or something? Because like they've killed the killer in every single one of these, but he was innocent, and that was a choice. But yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I really like the like kind of duality of having the actors who play the characters. I feel like the Gale Weathers with Gale Weathers like dynamic was so fun in this movie. It was like Gale Weathers is somebody who's kind of an obnoxious, and she's with somebody who's playing a version of her who's also kind of being obnoxious, and like the way that they bounce off of each other was a whole lot of fun. I really liked that character a lot, and I kind of wish she could have lived through this movie, and we could have, you know, potentially see her in other movies because she's fun, and I really liked like having like that one actor who's in the movie who's kind of like more down to earth and like kind of trying to be like a normal person. But that was great. I think that the Gale Weathers and like Dewey relationship adorable. I like the way that he proposes at the end of the movie. This definitely felt like a great way to tie up this trilogy, and I really really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed all of them. I wasn't really fully expecting to like these movies, but I liked every single one of them, and I think that this one's just on par with the other two. I rated the other two like an 82 and then like an 83 or something like that. I'm gonna rate this one a little bit lower. I think that this one's probably like a 78 out of 100, but I still really enjoyed it, and I thought that it was great. And I definitely would recommend watching these movies to anybody who hasn't seen them. The first three are all on HBO Max if you're looking for a place to find them and you don't want to go out and buy the 6 movie collection like I did. But yeah, that was great. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna be watching the fourth one and making a video on it tomorrow, so if you guys want to stay tuned for that. With that being said, that was it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bow. Bow. Bow.
He wanted me to trouble first, I did this. We planned a day, and then we did this. Wanna be in love with the girls with the kisses. Don't give a damn, I'll rid this. I like this when I run the distance. I run the 5K, you go ballistics. I wanna live within the business. Buy more than what's on the clearances. You're getting big cause I know you're a physicist. I wanna deny this shit, I'm unlimited.